President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has reminded the new Inspector General of Police of the emerging complex nature of crime and the role of the police in safeguarding the peace, the safety of the people, and the preservation of the territorial integrity of the state in contemporary times. The President highlighted these when he swore into office Dr. George Akuffo Dampare as the substantive Inspector General of Police. Dr. Dampare, who is 51 years, becomes Ghana's 23rd IGP, being the youngest police officer to attain that position. He was asked by the President last July to take over from Mr. James Opombuenu as acting IGP, pending the appointment of a substantive one. At a ceremony at the Jubilee House in Accra, where President Akufo-Addo administered the oaths of allegiance, office and secrecy, he congratulated Dr. Dampare on his appointment, which he said was a well-deserved one. He mentioned that Dr. Dampare had over the last 2 months acquitted himself creditably as the acting IGP and that he, the President, had no option than to confirm him as the substantive police boss.
It has been an eventful 2 months since his appointment, and the acting IGP has left me with very little choice in the matter. His actions, which have received widespread support and acclaim from the population, vindicated the decision I made to entrust him with the mandate of heading the police, albeit in a temporary capacity. It was thus with no degree of difficulty that I informed the Council of State of my decision to make his appointment a permanent one.
President Akufo-Addo said Dr. Dampare, who had served the nation dutifully since joining the police service, will make an effective leader of the service and help foster its efficiency. The President used the occasion to remind the IGP of the emerging complex nature of crime and the role of the police in safeguarding the peace, the safety of the people, and the preservation of the territorial integrity of the state. That, he said, would guarantee that citizens went about their normal lives in security and hope to improve the quality of their circumstances.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most important things for our nation are its peace, the safety of its people, and the preservation of its territorial integrity. It is when these are guaranteed that citizens can go about their normal lives in security and hope to improve on the quality of their circumstances. We all sleep feeling safe when the men and women of the police service work to keep our communities and our streets safe. Newly sworn IGP, the issue of law and order is particularly germane at this time, when the traditional challenges to security, such as chieftaincy conflicts, land disputes, religious intolerance, ethnic animosities, and political rivalry, are being compounded by contemporary threats like drug and human trafficking, proliferation of small arms and light weapons, armed robberies, cyber crimes, and activities of nomadic herdsmen.
President Akufo-Addo assured the IGP and the police administration that the government will do all it could to modernize and resource the police service to enable it maintain law and order and protect lives and property. President Akufo-Addo tasked the IGP to establish a service that maintained the trust of the citizenry.
That is why government is working to modernize and resource the police service adequately in order to assist it to maintain law and order and protect lives and property. I assure you, the government is determined to give whatever support it can so that we can have the service that the people of Ghana deserve. As I indicated last week at the graduation ceremony of the 50th Cadet Corps Officers Course of the police service, government has put in place far-reaching measures to improve the quality of the police service and the welfare of police personnel, and we will continue to do more in the coming years. It is often said that the public is the police and the police is the public. The citizenry can only have confidence in the police service when its members are seen to be honest and enforce the law without fear or favor.
president advised the IGP and the service as a whole not to tie their well-being to the fortunes of the ruling party of the day.
It is in everybody's interest that the police service conduct itself as the principal creditable instrument of accomplishing the executive's duty of maintaining law and order in the state. Governments in our body politic have term limits, and in a multi-party democracy, parties win and lose power. It is good for the health of the nation that this should be so. And this is why the police service under your leadership should not tie its well-being or otherwise to the fortunes of the ruling party of the day. As President, and together with you as Inspector General of Police, we need to cooperate to ensure that the police service is left to focus on its core mandate and not be an appendage of the ruling party.
Dr. Dampari, on his part, thanked the president for the confidence reposed in him and gave the assurance that he would, in collaboration with his colleagues, build a service that is better than what it is today.
I'd like to profoundly thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for the honor done me by appointing me as a Acting Inspector General of Police, and today confirming me as the 23rd Substantive Inspector General of Police of our country. Mr. President, my family and I are most grateful to you for the confidence that you have in me to allow me to take such a position of service to our nation.
The IGP reminded his colleagues in service of the principle that they would at a point become civilians and that the service they left behind will be the same to look after them when they hit the civilian stream. He urged them to strive and continue to deliver excellent service in the interest of the nation.
Mr. President, finally, I would like to say that we know that as police officers and other security agencies, we happen to be one of the few who become civilians twice in our lives. Before joining the service, we were civilians, and at a retirement, we become civilian. So our focus is that the police service we are nurturing today will be the police service that will police us and our children and our family when we come back into retirement. And knowing the privileges that we enjoy as officers now, if we are unable to institute a police system that will police us better than what is currently being done, then we will be the losers. So whatever we do today in terms of making the police service better, we do it for ourselves.
Some residents of Oyarifa Green Hills in the Lankwantanan Madina municipality in the Greater Accra region have decried the wanton and indiscriminate building of structures in waterways in their community by developers and have called on the local authorities and the central government to do their best to curb the antisocial activities of property developers. The residents made this cry in the aftermath of rains over the weekend when floods hit the community, throwing residents, shop owners and commuters in a distress. The floods, according to some residents, is as a result of the indiscriminate placement of structures and buildings, as well as the lack of proper drainage systems in the community. The residents speaking to the media called on the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to ensure their community is safe from floods. Mr. Robert Lamte, a spokesperson for the Green Hills Residents Association, whose shop is located along the road, expressed his concern about the flooding and said authorities need to keep their focus on spatial planning and maintenance so that properties and lives will be protected.
Musha ya nim ha ubo se obi di abo ne anwea abegu kwan mu ha be busumi ni o se ya ma no permit se o mesi dan wa ha esi ekwan nu eto be yi foundation wa ha najo Ede abo any anwen ebe block kwan no. Ade achi no ye the payloader ebe level na ade na foundation a waye ya petition police commander a wa denta. Omo nyina eba ha ensem akoso wa ha no enya asem ketwa. Enti sesi a no ya hawo nyina ye pese ye de to na adanko akufo ado anim. Ye de hye no ye de hye ba ko pe a waka ono anya ni dane so obie ni ho aye ni dane so so obetimi aboa yen oni regional minister ye de petition call regional minister office say onhwe na omeboa yen na yenyi ye street entum ni entimi nya gates na keke ene epe so mo de ma ho de so ombegu su kota aman ya gates na keke se ne ba ya ensuo ne to a ensuo ne nyina betimi akọ ne ensuo etimi nya kwan akọ efie eno kwa na ehwe free ne ho.
Some of the residents disclosed their misery and difficulty whenever it rained.
Na ya bredo do we se nso to ayi ntimi nko obekọ age se okonwan ya na ye nso ayi fie wo ayi ya no isi ye konwan ya se ya ba isi aminu kasa pe nso akọ ye fie onu ma ntimi mpompi ntimi nko ncha nso
asem nyama ne nyina wo stone no enti ye se dia penfo mo ha na dia ya kacha ka omo mboa ye enti se dia na musa mu bua dia ye sere mo a mbra na bua ye ya bre wo 3 years any 3 years nsoni tope na koye dem na ya fam sa na say nsoni ba pa say busum ba kokran apo ansa na nsoni ba ko na ya fam sa akodem sa na nsoni ba ko say onye bebi a obeko na ogina mu sa.
14 men, including a former president, will go on trial in Burkina Faso over the assassination in 1987 of Thomas Sankara, the country's revolutionary leader and a Pan-African icon. Near the Thomas Sankara memorial site where he was assassinated 34 years ago, street vendors and visitors say they expect the trial to shed light on his murder. Dubbed Africa's Che Guevara, Thomas Sankara wanted to decolonize minds in Burkina Faso and across the continent, but his revolutionary dreams were cut short when he was gunned down in a 1987 coup after just 4 years in power. The trial of the alleged perpetrators of the assassination, including his former friend Blaise Compaoré, who succeeded him as president and went to rule for 27 years, opens on Monday in the capital, Ouagadougou. Despite a short time in power, Sankara remains for many a revered figure. During mass protests which toppled Compaoré in 2014, young people carried portraits of Sankara aloft, though many had not even born during the Marxist-Leninist leader's rule. After a coup d'etat in 1980, the new leader Colonel Saïd Zabo appointed Sankara his Secretary of State for Information, but the soldier's radical views made him quit the government a year and a half later. Sankara was appointed Prime Minister in January 1983 after another military coup, which led to a quiet power struggle at the heart of the army. He was arrested in May 1983, but was then made president in August after yet another coup, which was led by his friend Compaoré. He changed the country's name from the colonial-era Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, the land of honest men. He also brought a second-hand Renault 5 and imposed the 5 French model as the car for all government personnel, doing away with bigger vehicles. The priorities in his reform program included reducing the price of the civil service, improving healthcare, nationwide literacy, food self-sufficiency, measures to help peasant farmers, vaccination campaigns and building pharmacies in village. He banned female genital mutilation and forced marriages, among other measures to promote women's rights, which he oversaw with an iron fist. The population was policed by the Committees for the Defense of the Revolution and sanctioned by the Popular Revolutionary Tribunal, which antagonized traditional tribal chiefs and other wielding wealth and power. However, he began to repress unions and political opposition, breaking up a teacher strike by sacking them. Sankara also urged Africa to refuse to pay its debt to Western countries and spoke out at the United Nations to denounce imperialist wars, apartheid and poverty. He also defended the rights of Palestinians to self-determination. On October 15, 1987, when he called to an extraordinary cabinet session, Sankara was gunned down by fellow soldiers during a putsch which left Compaoré alone in power. He was only 37 years old.
The special prosecutor, Mr. Kencity Media, will be in court on Monday, October 11th, for the first time since he commenced work in August this year as the new special prosecutor. Mr. Media will be at the Financial Court 2 for the tax evasion case against the Member of Parliament for Bawku Central, Mr. Mahama Oyarifa. The former special prosecutor, Martin Amidu, dragged the MP to court during his time at the office of the special prosecutor on two different issues. The MP was accused of breaching procurement processes in the purchase of some ambulances for his constituency and tax evasion in the importation of some luxurious vehicles. Although he stood trial then, together with 6 others, Mr. Mahama Oyarifa was later acquitted and discharged on Friday, May 7th. Justice Ifya Sewa Asare Boche, who presided over the case at the Accra High Court, acquitted and discharged all 7 after it upheld a submission of no case filed by the defense lawyers. With a new special prosecutor in office, the case has been reopened and the trial will resume on Monday. The Bawku Central MP stands accused of abusing his office after clearing 3 Toyota V8 vehicles without paying tax. In addition, he is sued for the illegal transfer of foreign exchange from Ghana to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates without having the required license to undertake such transactions. The special prosecutor, Mr. Kencity Media, will be present at the Financial Court 2 on Monday for the commencement of the case.